The D65PX EX mount, the Komatsu exclusive new HSS hydrostatic steering system. Let's start by using photographs and cutaway models to explain the structure and function of the Komatsu exclusive HSS system. With the HSS system, it is possible to rotate the left and right tracks at different speeds, and this enables the operator to turn the machine smoothly without cutting off the driving force. When traveling in a straight line, only the power from the transmission is used. But when turning the machine, the power from both the transmission and the HSS motor is used. With the HSS system, it is possible to have the power from the HSS motor rotating the tracks in opposite directions, and this makes it possible to carry out a counter-rotation turn on the spot. In the HSS system, the transfer portion sets the rotation of the HSS motor in opposite directions on the left and right and transmits it to the sun gear. It consists of the steering planetary system, which adjusts the input to the carrier and sun gear and outputs the power to the ring gear. This is a model of a planetary gear mechanism. The planetary gear system consists of the sun gear in the center, with 3 planet gears fixed to the carrier plate, and the ring gear on the outside. Let's watch the rotation when the sun gear is driven by power from the HSS motor. The sun gear rotates, but the carrier plate is fixed in position, so the planet gears rotate at the same place. As a result, we can see that the ring gear rotates in the opposite direction from the sun gear. Next, let's look at an example where the carrier plate is rotated by the power from the transmission. First, the sun gear is fixed, so when the carrier plate rotates, the planet gears and the ring gears rotate in the same direction as can be seen here. This is a cutaway model of HSS. The cutaway model is placed in a position seen from the rear of a bulldozer. With the actual HSS, the power from the transmission comes from the front of the machine, but with this cutaway model, the drive comes from the rear. Furthermore, the HSS motor is driven from the outside of the chassis, but with this cutaway model, it is driven from the inside. The basic principle of the HSS system is as follows. The motive force from the transmission enters from here and is transmitted to the carrier plate. It then rotates the 3 planet gears, and the rotation is transmitted to this ring gear. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. The motive force from this transmission is connected to the carrier plate, and the sun gear does not rotate. Let's now explain the situation when the drive power comes from the HSS motor. First, the rotation is transmitted from the HSS motor to the sun gear. This rotation is transmitted through the planet gears to rotate the ring gear. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. The motive force from the HSS motor is connected to the sun gear, so only the sun gear is rotated. Remember that the carrier plate remains fixed in position. When the HSS motor provides drive power, the right steering mechanism consists of these gears: 1, 2, 3. So the rotation from the motor and the rotation of the sun gear are in the same direction. The left steering mechanism consists of these gears: 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rotation from the motor and the rotation of the sun gear are in the reverse direction. There are 3 gears in the right steering mechanism, so it can be seen that the direction of rotation of the motor is in the same as the direction of rotation of the sun gear. The left steering mechanism has 4 gears, so the direction of rotation of the motor is the reverse of the direction of rotation of the sun gear. When traveling in a straight line, only the power from the transmission is used. There is no movement of the HSS motor. The power from the transmission drives the carrier plate, and this passes through the planet gears to rotate the ring gear. These ring gears rotate in the same direction on both the left and the right. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. When traveling in a straight line, the rotation of the HSS motor is stopped, so the sun gear in the center is fixed in position, and the ring gear rotates in the same direction as the drive carrier. When used on an actual machine, the speed is reduced one more time in the final drive, so the direction of rotation of the sprocket is the reverse of the rotation of the ring gear in this cutaway model. However, with this video to match with the direction of travel of the machine, we would like you to imagine that the machine is moving in the direction of rotation of the ring gear. If we use the transmission diagram given in the shop manual to explain this, we can see that the power from transmission is transmitted to the left and right carrier plates and goes to the final drive. When turning, the power is used from both the transmission and the HSS motor. For example, when turning to the left, the power from the transmission continues to rotate the carrier plate. And if the HSS motor is rotated to turn left, the left and right sun gears rotate in opposite directions. With the right steering mechanism, the carrier plate and sun gear rotate in opposite directions, so the speed of the ring gear is increased. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. As you can see here, the sun gear and carrier plate rotate in opposite directions. The planet gears rotate in the same direction as the ring gear, so the speed of the ring gear is increased. With the left steering mechanism, the carrier plate and sun gear rotate in the same direction, so the speed of the ring gear is reduced. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. As you can see here, the sun gear and carrier plate rotate in opposite directions. The planet gears rotate in the opposite direction from the ring gear, so the speed of the ring gear is reduced. Because of the difference in rotation, the machine turns to the left where the rotation is slower. As can be seen from the transmission diagram, the power from the transmission and the power from the HSS motor are merged. This gives the left and right rotation, and this is transmitted from the ring gear to the final drive. With counter-rotation turns, the power from the transmission is not transmitted. Rotation is only carried out by the power transmitted from the HSS motor. Therefore, the power from the HSS motor is transmitted to the sun gear, and the planet gears rotate. But the left and right sun gears rotate in opposite directions. So the left and right ring gears also rotate in opposite directions to carry out a counter-rotation turn. Let's now show you what happens when it is driven. As can be seen from the transmission diagram, the sun gears are rotated in opposite directions on the left and right by the power from the HSS motor only. With the HSS system, the engine horsepower is always transmitted to the left and right tracks. thereby enabling the machine to turn smoothly. This gives a big increase in the efficiency of dozing operations while turning. It also allows dozing operation while turning to be carried out at the same speed as when dozing in a straight line. It is also possible to carry out fine adjustments in the travel direction during such operations. There is also no need to carry out reverse steering when traveling downhill. Operations on slopes can be carried out freely in complete safety. With the HSS system, the minimum turning radius is smaller than that on machines using the clutch and brake, and the steering has more power, so mobility is excellent. It is easy to keep the machine traveling in a straight line even when the load is on one side of the blade, and this enables the machine to carry out side cutting and shaping operations efficiently and with precision. The drive power is not cut off when turning, so this makes it easy for the machine to travel on soft ground and to escape from mud. Dozing operations can be carried out smoothly even while turning on soft ground. The track on one side does not lock when traveling, so the ground is not churned up and leveling operations can be carried out efficiently. The high output steering motor provides powerful steering and a large cutting power at the edge of the blade, so this further increases the operating efficiency. I hope that you can now see the capabilities of the superb new HSS hydrostatic steering system. The HSS system represents a new peak of achievement for Komatsu. It makes all kinds of work possible and has opened the way to a new era for medium-sized bulldozers.